take 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. And then Daz goes out of picture.
I was going to grab the cat and lift it to the camera then, but it ran off.
Well, welcome back to the Dance Party 247 podcast. You've got myself, DJ Envy. You've got Darren Doorstep Hall to that way. You've got DJ T that way. And you've got kind of DJ Wong is kind of over there. Anyway, he's irrelevant. He's just down there somewhere. I tell you what, I have got a question for the 2
I knew this was good. I know what you're going to ask, but go on.
Why are you a doorstep?
I knew that was going to be it. Right, okay. Well, thank you for letting me on your show. It's a true honour. I'm nearly overwhelmed. Yeah, okay. Well, the name itself. Well, first and foremost, no idiot apart from me is going to have a DJ named Doorstep. So that's one box to tick straight away. No idiot's going to have this. But it just kind of comes from, I was kind of DJing sort of mid-90s. That's when I kind of started up and, doing house parties and whatnot. And coincidentally, at the same time, there was a certain washing powder on the market doing the doorstep challenge, Dance Doorstep challenges. And it just kind of came from there, really. Everyone just suddenly saw me as doing the Dance Doorstep challenge, doing all the house parties, and the rest is history.
Hi, DJ T here in the edit. This podcast was made during lockdown. There are going to be some noises of children in the background. Unfortunately, I couldn't edit them out due to the content of Daz Doorstep Hall to find out a little bit more about him. So we kept it in the edit. So if you can just bear that in mind, then we'll get back to what Mr. Daz Doorstep 2.0 Hall has to say for himself.
You've explained a little bit about yourself. Tell us what your history is, how you come to be with us Motley Crew, and your DJ history.
Okay. Yeah, well, I kind of just got into music quite late. I didn't really have, kind of much on the influence side other than listening to brothers' crap records, usually things like Black Lace and all sorts of rubbish nonsense. So I can kind of scrub up early music history. I just kind of, I suppose, like quite late in school and like leaving school. So we're talking early 90s. I'm that old. I was initially into like hardcore, and yeah, I just kind of liked it by myself. Didn't really have anybody to kind of share it with, just maybe one or two friends and stuff. And then I just started to collect music, just buy vinyl, just by chance before I was even kind of DJing. And like we sort of early record things like Passion, that was like one of the first records that I've still got, which is truly awesome. Yeah, it just kind of went from there. I mean, I started to knock around with people who were kind of DJs.
See, I can hear the baby in the background, mate.
And I can hear your kids as well. Your kids was like, I could hear them above Daz. It's like this is totally professional, isn't it?
I can't even hear myself think amongst all this.
They walked off behind. I could hear them. And then when they stopped, he started.
It's like a knock-on effect, isn't it?
It's like tag team, isn't it? Gee. Anyway, yeah, so I kind of got into, like, my early sort of preference for music was like mostly like hardcore stuff, and I've still got quite a lot of that now. I don't know, things like Awesome 3 Don't Go, which I've funny enough played in my last tune requested, and that was kind of me sort of early stuff. I gradually started to like sort of like general house music, like vocals, and when I started to go clubbing, we mostly went to. This is going to need some excellent video editing, team.
Don't worry, it's top set.
So yeah, I mean, I started to go.
Envy, I can hear. Oh, I can hear somebody going, ho, 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 down your end.
Shut up, Arv. They can hear you the other end.
Yeah. And Envy now has a long dark tunnel again.
So I started to go clubbing, and it was like clubs like I did a little bit of like Hacienda and sort of Cream, but like the mainstay was things like it's a club near to me called Bowlers, and like Wigan Pier. So it was all like kind of bouncy, uplifting sort of house, that kind of thing. So I started to get really into that. But I was knocking around with quite a few people who were going to like university and stuff. I wasn't one of them people. I just kind of knocked around with that crowd. But they were like, there's a kind of group of like DJs amongst that lot. And I don't know, you just kind of think, if they can do that, I can certainly do that. And I just, bought myself a pair of cheap decks, turntables, belt drives, and just started to just kind of learn from myself, really. Nobody, I suppose it's like you guys or whatever. Oh my God. I just kind of self-taught, basically. I'm just going to ignore him. Carry on. I just kind of self-taught, and then started to kind of do like house parties and that kind of thing. And I suppose that's just been mostly what I've done. I've done a few bars and things just by chance. The biggest achievement that I've had, sort of from a DJing point of view, was like doing the Sankey Soap. It was a one-off. It was like a private Thursday evening. I did 2 hours, and it was jam-packed, full of people. It was like a good 2,000 people in there. I did 2 hours, finished my set, and the DJ after me, his music was different to sort of blend mine into his. Mine was a bit faster than his, so he just stopped my tune, and everybody whooped on the dance floor, like kind of raised both my vinyl in the air and just kind of punched it into the air, and everyone whooped back, and it was great. Loved it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've just kind of DJ'd on and off, just sort of privately, really. Just pretty much a bedroom DJ mostly. I've done a few mixes online and stuff, but yeah, just kept it to myself. Didn't really have much to do with DJing for several years, up until last year or two. The decks went straight into the loft, but they were just kind of wrapped up in the loft until probably just a couple of years ago. So I've only really done it the last couple of years on and off. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Typically, somebody. I don't know about you guys. It's really, really bad at my end. The connection, really bad. Oh,
It's worse now.
Mr. Doorstep Hall has introduced himself, guys. What is it that everyone wants to have a chat about tonight?
Well, Daz was wanting to talk about his worst gig, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, it was until
Or our worst gigs.
Yeah,
I've never had a bad one.
Yeah. We should each share our worst gigs. I'm sure there's something that each of us has done that we could have maybe looked back and thought that could have been better.
I don't know if I can air mine.
Should I tell you mine then?
That's a different story than the other day. The other day, when I asked about worst gigs, you said you didn't have one. So you have one, but you didn't want to divulge it.
He's keeping it in the locker. He's keeping it in the locker.
One that comes to mind, but it's a bit taboo.
Well, we'll take out the taboo parts and just replace them with nice, polite bloopers. You'll be right.
Try and record it from up here. You got coming from here all the way up here. You come here. Go, there was a New Year's Eve one night back in 90 something, and I was booked to DJ a house party.
What's up with him?
Over in Romford. Needless to say, I sent somebody over there I got all the equipment over there, but I had to be somewhere else prior to being there. So I got everything over, got this party, and I've got my sort of backup DJ that left him with the crappy tunes. The ones that I'm not too worried about if they get ruined, because they were just practice tunes anyway. So yeah, I've dropped you off. All right, and it's like, get it all set up, and then I've gone back to my prior engagement. Then it gets to like 11:15, just got 11 o'clock, and I was like, I got back in the car by 11:15. I think, well, I've got to get from Loughton to Romford before 12 o'clock. So so we're going across, heads off across our Hainault, goes over the A12, and then who's sitting on the other side? You've got the busies sitting on the other side. Like, yeah, they're thinking it's going to be fun to pull us over because they think we're all drinking. Well, no, we wasn't drinking. We might have been a bit wide-eyed, but we wasn't drinking. Anyway, so yeah, they pulled us over. Needless to say, they didn't believe anything that we said, though we'd done nothing wrong. They couldn't nick us for anything. So 20 minutes later, they let us go. Skinned the car out, 20 minutes later, let us go. So I've got to this party by about 10 to 12, for like this close to midnight. And I've got to put the track on, and then some silly girl decides to pour a drink over the bloody mixer.
She got her mixers wrong, did she?
About 4 minutes to 12. Yes, and you can imagine it went nothing. Nothing happened.
Oh dear.
So how did that go then?
Well, we made her get a hairdryer out. Yeah, we made her sit there for the next hour, blow hairdryer the bloody mixer so it can start working again. And I did get it going. Fair play, I got it going. It took about an hour. I was an hour at lights, so about 5 to 1 I actually start rolling music.
So what did you do in between, like play charades or something, or sing a song? Did you play charade in between to keep the crowd pleased?
Baby D, Fantasy was the first track I played.
That ain't what you said. What did you do in between?
What did you do in between whilst there was no mixer?
I was screaming at the woman that ruined my mixer.
So she was hair drying the mixer and you were hair drying hair?
I ain't going to say what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
We won't go down that road.
You went down a road that night, but yeah, we won't go down that road.
Overall, for the next like from like about 5 to 1 till about 6 in the morning, it went relatively really well. I still got paid, and that was it. I wasn't none too pleased, to say the least, because I wanted to do the 12 o'clock, and I was really annoyed. I had stink on my ears.
What would have been your midnight tune, Wongi?
Sorry,
what was going to be your midnight tune?
It was going to be Fantasy. It was going to be Let Me Be Your Fantasy by Baby D.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to cue it up so it's like so it went like 12 o'clock. Like, I was going to go boom, dun dun. Let me be your fantasy.
We should have done that anyway.
Please don't sing.
But yeah, without the intro, I was going to.
You usually wear DJs and don't make singers, don't you?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
If anyone's aware of any continuity issue, as in my camera's different, it's because my phone was playing up. So hopefully I can now hear you guys properly. Mr. Doorstep Hall, you forgot the 2.0, by the way. I'm really, really disappointed. I can go back in and change it for you. It's not a problem. I have that ability now on the computer. Anyway, just watch your names, silly names to come across the bottom, because these two here cannot be trusted. You suggested the subjects of worst gig, so this better be a BT. What was your worst gig?
Well, as I've already explained, I've not really had too many gigs. So it didn't revolve around this particular gig as well. Just like to add that. But I was still pretty much, just doing kind of like all the house parties and things. But I was working at a firm of solicitors at the time, and I'd sort of moved to another firm. But my old boss, he randomly sort of rang me up and said, "Oh, our firm having an end of year party, and I've suggested that you can be the DJ for it. Would you like to do it? You just have to bring your records, basically. Everything else will be supplied." And I said, "Yeah, I'd be happy to do it, but you do realise that, my music genre is not chat music. It's not like, do the Congo and all that nonsense. It's like proper sort of underground stuff. I may have a few bits and pieces here and there like everyone else, but it's not for the mainstream." "Oh yeah, don't worry. I obviously know your musical tastes and stuff, and I've cleared it. Everyone's happy with it. So yeah, it's not going to be a problem." I said, "Okay, well, as long as that's the case, then yeah, I'll do it." And it was club that was sort of downstairs underneath the La Tasca bar. So this was in central Manchester. And I went down, kind of set up, introduced to a couple of people. Obviously, still knew quite a few people there as well. Working there like only 6 months or so had passed since I'd gone. Kind of set up, a few just nice easy tunes to begin with, and people were still kind of turning up and things. So there was a fairly big dance floor and loads of seats and chairs and tables, whatever, just on the outskirts and beyond. And I'm kind of carrying on playing, mixing tunes, dropping some excellent tunes and doing some pretty damn good mixing as well, if I don't say so myself. But nobody's getting on the dance floor. Everyone's just kind of stood around the edges, and I'm thinking, this isn't going good. This isn't. This is pretty much what I was sort of half expected and half worried about. And it was almost like a Mexican standoff. It's like an hour or so had passed, and people are still on the edges and just getting loads of eyeballs, thinking, "Oh crap, what am I supposed to do here?" And somebody eventually kind of, popped the cherry and sort of came over and said, "To me, can you play some soul music?" I'm like, "No." What do you mean, no? I'm like, "I haven't got any soul music." She said, "Well, what have you got?" I said, "You're listening to it." She's like, "You're joking. Is this it all night?" I said, "Well, yeah. This is my music. This is all I've got, I'm afraid." "Well, I will speak to the partners about this. I'm not happy." I said, "Go and speak to them. They're the ones that hired me, and they're the ones that I warned as well." And it was just like that for a good another hour or so. People just coming over. "Have you got this? Have you got that? No. Can you play ABBA?" "No, I cannot play ABBA." "Sling your hook." And eventually, one of the managers came and he had a box of old records, and it was now 24 or whatever. I thought, just play it and just see what happens. As soon as I dropped that first tune, everyone was on the dance floor, and I felt like I sold my soul. Suddenly people are throwing shapes, so let's do the time warp and songs like that, and I'm having to play all this kind of rubbish chart music, but it kind of eventually got me through the rest of the night. But it was 2 hours worth of awkwardness and tenseness, and it was very uncomfortable. I'm sure for them as much as me. But I suppose one thing that I can take from that, trying to be philosophical, that's sometimes you shouldn't really play for yourself. Sometimes you've got to be a bit more flexible and play for the crowd. Obviously, I tried to warn. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't trying to be inflexible at the time, but it was a bit of an eye opener, and it ended reasonably well in the end. Albeit it was a very long feeling 2 hours, shall we say? But that's my most awkwardness. Nobody undressed or got anything out or anything like that. I'm afraid, Wongi, it was just that's as dodgy as mine gets, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but you're just bringing vinyl, and that's all you've got. It's not a case of no, I might have it. It might be at home. It's no, this is what I have the choice of right in front of me, and that's
exactly.
it. Isn't it?
Yeah, because obviously it was the 90s. It was purely records back then, and obviously I'd done my best to try and forewarn, but it just was completely ignored anyway. Got there in the end. Still had to.
Did you get on the microphone and go
from somewhere?
Did you get on the microphone and make yourself totally inaudible? You couldn't be heard like every other mobile DJ out there. They go, what?
Well, I did try. Actually, yeah. I did try that a few times, and it did actually work once when I said it's last orders at the bar, can someone get me a drink? And somebody actually got me a drink.
No way.
Yeah, well, that's it. It doesn't matter if they're in a mobile setting, they don't hear what you say. Personally, sometimes it's the DJ's fault because they put their voice on, or they're not talking over the music; they're talking through the music. You're not bringing the fader down. Can't be heard. Two things I always hear is obviously last orders and buffets open. They always hear that, no matter how simple you say it is. Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, taxi for Deirdre. Your taxi's here.
I have a story of a mobile gig. I got a call with about a week's notice to a hotel. I said, "Yeah, I'm free. I can do it." I turn up as usual. What do you want me to play? What don't you want me to play? All that kind of stuff. I gets there, and they said, just mainly chart stuff with you. Unsure, just go chart. Then, a bit of soul, bit of sort of that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, I've done all that kind of stuff before. So obviously on the laptop, not a problem. I've got CDs as well. So I stopped mixing because, like you do, you get a bit bored. So even though it's chart stuff, you can still mix it. So I'm mixing away, and this guy comes up and introduces himself, and he's a manager, DJ, and stuff like that. So I go, hey, up, yeah, time to impress here. So because I was just doing my own thing, and he says, "Oh, I see you mixing, enjoying yourself," and obviously sort of not much going off in the room, so I understand why you're doing that and stuff. And I was got a few dancers, but it wasn't any room that really conducive for dancing. It's like an auxiliary room, just bolted on the edge because there's two other weddings in the building at the same night. So they got this at last minute, and everything seemed to be kind of last minute. There wasn't an obvious dance floor. You'd have to move some tables out of the way and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. So I get flying away, and then it goes really, really quiet. And people just walking through. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then they walk back through the room, and then people, tears and everything like that. Anyway, long story short is, as far as I remember, there was a fight, including I think it was the son-in-law and the mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law was the one getting married. Yeah, there was a fight going off. Hospital was only a quarter of a mile up the road, and I ended up taking people up to the hospital after I packed my gig away up to the hospital to visit the people. It was, and I never got paid, and I lost the number of the guy who was a what do you call it, a manager of DJs. I think he knew John Digweed very well. He was that drunk that when he says, "Do you know who John Digweed was?" Yes. And then he just escalated that to the point where I used to go to the club where John Digweed was a resident, and I knew him very well. That's how drunk he was. And you're going to go, okay, I'm not going to burst the bubble, mate. You're too drunk no matter what I say now. Yeah? I lost his number as well. So, yeah, and that story made one of these soap bag wings. She got 250 quid.
So when this big fight was breaking out, what was your song being played? Something like "Murder on the Dance Floor."
All I remember is that it went very, very quiet, and I stopped the music. I ended up stopping the music just before somebody came along and says, "Yeah, I think you better pack it up, mate." Nothing much was happening this evening. As I say, I got that gist. I wasn't. Nothing happened in front of me. I didn't see who hit who and all that kind of stuff, but. From what I remember, it was son-in-law and mother-in-law. They were the two principal people. Yeah. And I read the article a couple of years later when the family was still not over and done with. The daughter wasn't speaking to her and all that kind of stuff. Mr. Envy, do you have one?
I don't actually.
Don't tell lies.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No, honestly,
You never had a band that's like the all-perfect gig.
No, not all been perfect, but I've never had one that's really gone terribly wrong. On a whole, they've all been, pretty decent because I've never really done private parties. I've always done bars or clubs. I've only done like friends parties, and they always went off all right. I've never really done the mobile thing because it's too much stress, isn't it? You got to remember, it's just too much stress. So I've always done bars or clubs. Like teas, I couldn't do that. I couldn't go there, set up. I have to put up with people constantly in your ear, going, "Can you play this? Can you play?"
Yeah, we got this. We got that. Yeah.
Oh, go away. Even if I've got it, it'd be like, "Go away, leave me alone," because it just does you nothing. You don't get so much of that in a bar and a club, do you? Because obviously you kind of, most bars and clubs, you're kind of tucked away a little bit. The DJ stand is kind of guarded by doormen, and you have, do you know what I mean? You're kind of left alone. It's not as bad. So I've never really done like private stuff. I've done party for you, didn't I, Wongy? I've done one for Tubby G. I've done one 4 years ago. But other than that, I've never really done private stuff because it's too much grief.
I did try one once.
Personal parties.
I did try one once, and funnily enough, it came because I was out with Tiff, and we were sort of having a meal at an Italian restaurant in a place near to us called Urmston, a town called Urmston, and just speaking to like the the management there and like saying that I was a DJ and stuff. And he took me my number, and it was probably about 12 months afterwards. I got a random phone call. Oh, I remember when you told us you were a DJ? Do you want to come and DJ for us for a couple of weekends and fill in for the guy who's going on holiday that does it normally? And I thought, yeah, why not? But yeah, I lasted 1 week. I didn't even last 2 weeks. The amount of people just like, can you play this? And you play this. Why are you playing this now? And people coming through the doors because it was supposed to be like a private area. People opening the doors to try and pick out CDs for you and stuff. Like, clear off. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've got the patience of a saint, T. Patience of a saint.
I haven't got the patience for it. I'd end up chinning someone.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
78-year-old. Can you play my song?
No, but I can't think of anything. I have done like a couple of things for friends, like I said. But if I was to be paid to go, I didn't know you, Darren. You said, like, you booked me to do your, and you've got all your drunk mates coming up talking to me saying, can you play this? Can you play this? Can you play? It's like, I just haven't got the patience for that. I would seriously get annoyed, because even if you do a private gig like that, you still have a sort of set planned. It might be in here, or it might be already planned out physically, but you still have some sort of idea where you want to go with it, don't you? And for someone to come in and try and interfere, who couldn't put one beat on top of another one, let alone putting 4, 6, 8, 16, and they all think they're like mega superstar DJs, don't they?
Yeah. And people shouting rewinds constantly. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're on about, mate. In my defence, what did you say when I asked for the rewind?
What? Which one? Sorry, you have to be more specific.
The first one.
What, the first? When? Which one are we talking about? What, today?
No, on Friday. You didn't do a show today. You done show Friday.
What do you mean my show? Sorry, I thought you were talking about your show.
No, not my show. My show was rubbish.
You'll have to remind me, because I've had that many rewinds that my brain's rewound from it.
So it was, as management have requested, I will rewind it. Simple as that.
Rewind it or slingy hook, sunshine.
Yeah, you took it back. Never really had that. Apart from me and T did put an event on, actually, in Derby, wasn't it?
Derby, yeah.
Why have I got an echo?
I don't know.
Anyway, so we ventured out into trying to put an event on in Derby, and that didn't quite go to plan, did it?
How many people turned up?
To be honest, I can't remember how many people turned up. It weren't many, was it?
Is that low?
One. When we packed one.
It was.
When we went to go, 2 people then turned up. So technically, we'll count that as 3.
Including yourself and the pastor.
No.
It didn't go to plan.
It was not local to either of us. I had to travel down from Rotherham, and you had to come up from London. So, lesson learned is do it on your own doorstep, or one of us do it on our own doorstep.
Or don't do it at all. So we either do it on doorstep, or we don't do doorstep at all.
So you do doorstep, or you don't do doorstep, but you want to do doorstep, but don't do doorstep.
I've just noticed your hat. That ain't too vain.
That was pre-merchandise days, I'm afraid. So I apologise.
That's not too vain, is it?
It's not envious at all, no.
I quite like my name. It's chosen wisely, isn't it, Mr. Wongy?
If you say so.
You've already. I have no gigs that are rubbish.
I am self-obsessed. What do you want me to say?
DJ Envy, Mr. Vane.
Yeah, of course. And my last 2 shows have been absolutely brilliant. So they've been really good. What can I say?
I've gone in and saved the day. I've gone in to pick up some kit in a bar, and I knew they were open. They weren't open that often. I obviously had a private party, and I used to be DJ for them, and for whatever reason they didn't hire me that night. and they just put some pipe music on. So I walked in, thinking, well, I need to go and grab whatever piece of kit left there. Walked in, expecting just to pop in and pop out. All of a sudden, I got collared, and about 90 minutes later, I'm still there rocking the party, doing it live with just the kit that they had. It's like, oh, this needs to play this, and that goes with that, because obviously it was a bit, wait, can you help us out? Well, I can't stay that long. Well, I can stay for a bit.
I've actually I took a bar that was in trouble with a DJ once. It was in Ibiza. It was back in the early 90s, and we've done a lads.
Okay, we can't stop this. He's already named the drop, isn't it? The name.
Yeah, it's already dropped Ibiza. Yeah.
Yeah. You shouldn't be name dropping, Mr. Wongy.
It's going to be the Capidel Spa, isn't it?
No, that wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was actually nightlife. It was nightlife bar, not the basement one, the one upstairs. Yeah, we'd come out and it was like
never been to Ibiza.
No, me neither.
We was on the top of the strip, and we'd started on the left-hand side, going to the bars all the way down. By the time we got to the bottom, cross the road, and then you got like 3 bars up, and then there's nightlife. Yeah, but nightlife.
I'll take your word for it.
Like we all know. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so you go down there, then you turn left, and then you follow it round. Yeah. Okay. With you.
Bloody Northerners, eh?
Anyway. Honest, I agree with you, Dale. I do, honestly, Mr. Hall. I agree with you.
Well, anyway, so by the time we got to the bottom of one side of the strip, I was half lagging, to say the least, because like you go, it's like come in, buy 1 drink, get 3 shots free, yeah, 3, 4, and it was.
You don't have to though, Wongy. Just to point out, it's optional.
It's a choice, mate.
Bloody hell, coming from a Northerner, I'm surprised you even suggested that.
That's true.
Okay. Anyway, so I got in. We've got into there, yeah, and there was a DJ playing. All of a sudden, it just went. It just stopped. He got up and he left the building, he left the premises, and that was it. And everyone's like, "What's going on?" So, and because I was like sort of a bit semi-drunk, and like they had 12, like back then it was only, they didn't have the digital stuff, it was 1210s. 1210s, like 4-channel mixer with a few EQs and stuff. Anyway, so I've got you got the manager behind the bar, and he's like trying to deal with a bunch of women. Funny enough, like they're saying, "What about music?" So I went up to her, I said, "I can DJ, not very well, but I can DJ, but I have no records."
So that's better than what you are now, isn't it? To be fair.
So he goes, "Come here," and he pulled me one side, and he's like, "Let me finish this room," and he's led me into this little room, and the floor's just full of records.
That ain't what I thought you was going to say. I'll be honest with you.
Lights went off.
No,
yeah. The funny walk afterwards.
It was probably like a 12 by 14 room square. Like I don't
want to know what. I don't want to know the size.
Anyway, so cut long story short, like I
think you should.
Playing.
It's already long.
Yeah, I started playing. It didn't go too well to start with, but then 3 hours later, the place was absolutely stomping. I played there for 4 hours. He paid me 160 pesos. Back then, I think it's pesos.
I told you to do what?
Yes.
I think they were called pesetas, weren't they?
Potatoes, yeah. Potatoes, yeah.
Potatoes, mate. Potatoes.
Like I say, it's a long time ago. Yeah. And that was my only sort of one main time over in Ibiza that I sort of done something.
Well, fair. You've out-trumped us a lot. Absolutely out-trumped us. As we have exposed our souls this afternoon or this evening, and if you also have a DJ story you wish to tell, please email us at danceparty247outlook.com. He's the kid in the corner. Come over his mouth. Off we go.
Right, you can do it. Do it properly.
I'll find it funny. You find it funny. I'm trying to do it.
Right, go on. I'll be quiet.
take 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. And then Daz goes out of picture.
I was going to grab the cat and lift it to the camera then, but it ran off.
As we have exposed our souls and much more this evening, if you do have a story yourself and you wish us to read it out, please email us at danceparty247@outlook.com and we'll get some apparatus. Some of us can read better than others, but we'll give it a go. We are DJs and we'll read them out and expose your horrors and the successes to the bigger world out there. Get him.
Hey!
You guys don't forget to like, follow, share, and ding the ding dong bell.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Go on, Wongy. Wongy, you can do it. You can do the full shebang. The Instagram, the Facebook, and the... No, you didn't. You need to do the Instagram, the Facebook, and the YouTube. Off you go.
You just don't.
No, you need to tell them exactly what to do.
Okay. All right. Well, you can message us danceparty247@outlook.com. Yeah. We're also on Instagram 247 official, Facebook 247 official, and danceparty247.club.
Or club.
Or club.
Club or club. Depends where you are in the country.
Club.
Are you not forgetting like the main important one?
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding the notification bell. Otherwise, you won't know that we're on live or we're going virtual.
Oh, we rock and roll. Yes, he's a professional.
Beautiful.
I can edit that to make it look compass mentis.
Must be
Are you sure?
What Wongus Mentis?